A very good morning to all of you.
Morning, sir.
How are you? All are fine? Had your breakfast? Preparing for lunch? Okay. Today we are going to learn a new lesson from Flamingo, page number 23, lesson 3, deep water. Deep water. It is a motivational lesson. Yesterday, we completed another motivational lesson, and I think you have received motivation, positive energy from Mr. Lamb. Am I right? Elvina, did you get some motivation from Mr. Lamb?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So, according to the thoughts of Mr. Lamb, which is the greatest enemy whom we have to conquer, or who is the greatest enemy? Yesterday we have seen. Who is the greatest enemy? Aishwarya.
Our fear.
Our fear is the greatest enemy. If we conquer fear, automatically the bottle of energy will come out like champagne. In this lesson, Deep Water, William Douglas, the writer, explains his experiences to conquer fear in his life. Here, he was afraid of water. He had some experiences, negative experiences, drowning experiences. From that, he got afraid of water. And he explains how did he conquered that fear. How did he how did he conquer that fear? So yesterday we have seen what Nelson Mandela said about fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the power to conquer fear within oneself. So everything is about fear. So if anybody is sitting here with fear inside, pluck it out, throw it out by this lesson ends. Okay. So let my friends either switch on your video or what should I say, attend some other class, isn't it? Okay. So last part of that introductory paragraph. The following excerpt, seventh line from bottom. The following excerpt is taken from Of Men and Mountains, underline. A large essay. The name of that is Of Men and Mountains by William O. Douglas. It reveals how, as a young boy, William Douglas nearly drowned in a swimming pool. In this essay, he talks about his fear of water and thereafter how he finally overcame it. Notice how the autobiographical part of the selection is used to support his discussion of fear. It had happened when I was 10 or 11 years old. He is recollecting his past memory. I had decided to learn to swim. It was a great desire to learn swimming. There was a pool at the YMCA in Yakima that offered exactly the opportunity. There was a pool at YMCA. What is YMCA? Can you tell me the full form of YMCA? Anyone? Anyone? Nobody knows. It is a famous international organization. It is an international organization. Nobody knows. YMCA. I will tell you another word. YWCA. Sometimes you may be knowing. Nobody knows. Nobody. YMCA.
Men's
Eh?
Christian Association.
What?
Young Men's Christian Association.
Ah, Young Men's Christian Association. Young Men's Catholic Association. Then YWCA. Young Women Christian Association, isn't it? So that is an association, international association. Okay. So there was a pool at the YMCA in Yakima that offered exactly the opportunity. The Yakima River was treacherous. A term is there, treacherous. Treacherous here means dangerous. Dangerous. Yakima River is dangerous. You see, Varachal is treacherous, but it is so attractive. Adirapalli is attractive, but it is treacherous. It is dangerous. Mother continually warned against it. My mother told me, don't go to Yakima River. Don't go. Don't go. So continuously she was warning me and kept fresh in my mind the details of each drowning case in the river. So every day she reminded me, yesterday that boy fell into that river, died, drowned. So don't go to Yakima. Ah, you know, I know you want to learn swimming, but in order to learn swimming, my dear boy, don't go to Yakima. So she was reminding him about the dangerous nature of Yakima River. But the YMCA pool was safe. Swimming pool was safe. It was only 2 or 3 feet deep at the shallow end area where the depth is less. So you know, the swimming pool will be like this. You see, this is the starting end. Here, the water will be, you see, this much. This is water level. You see, this is swimming ground. We start from here. Here, it is only 2 to 3 feet water. This is called shallow end. The area where the depth is less. So at the shallow end, there were only 2 to 3 feet water. And while it was 9 feet at the other end, here it is 9 feet. If you stand, you will be under water. 9 feet. And the drop, the slope, drop means slope. Slope was gradual. I got a pair of water wings. I got a pair of water wings that helps you to learn swimming and went to the pool. He came there in YMCA pool. I hated to walk naked into it. So he was a little shy and show my skinny legs, slim legs. There are some people, when they open their shirt, all the skeleton will be coming out. Not a fleshy body, slim, skinny. So they feel shame to remove their dress in the same way he was. But I subdued my pride and did it. I overcame, subdued, I overcame my shyness and I removed my dress and came into the water. From the beginning, however, I had an aversion to the water because he had a fear. He had the fear of water. So he came to learn swimming. He came and sat here on the wall. He had a dislike. Aversion means dislike towards water. I had an aversion to the water when I was in it. This started when I was 3 or 4 years old. So we are coming back to flashback. This is 11 years. Now he is talking about 3 years. See, this is the way. This is the way how to write. At the age of 11 years, he began to conquer his fear of water. If he wanted to conquer the fear of water, he had received the fear something in the past. So now he is talking about his experience at the age of 3. You see, don't confuse. This started, this aversion, this fear of water started when I was 3 or 4 years old. And father took me to the beach in California. My father took me to the beach in California. Underline, beach in California. He and I stood together in the surf, in the surf, in the water, with the foam. I hung on to him. I was holding my father strongly, yet the waves knocked me down and swept over me. So at the age of 3, I went to the beach of California with my father. My father carried me, and we were enjoying the surf. the surfy water. In the meantime, waves came and hit them. When the waves came and hit them, Douglas held his father strongly, but strong wave came and hit him and threw him into the water. He was a boy of 3 years. You can imagine if the boy is thrown out of the grip of his father and thrown into the sea, what will be the condition? He will be afraid. I was buried in water. I was inside the water. I sank in the water. My breath was gone. I could not breathe. I was frightened. Underline. I was frightened at the age of 3 years. Seeing this miserable condition, seeing this situation, my father laughed at me. My father was laughing. Underline. Father laughed. But there was a terror in my heart. Underline. Terror in my heart at the overpowering force of the wave. The child was inside the water. Father was laughing. The boy was afraid. Here, fear increased as the waves came upon him again and again. This is an incident where he was afraid of water at the age of 3. Now, at the age of 11, after 8 years, he came to YMCA pool in order to conquer the fear that entered in him at the age of 3. My introduction to the YMCA swimming pool in the last lesson, we have seen Viva la France. Long live France. Long live France. So here, revive. Vive. Revive. So what is the meaning? When we add the prefix re to a word, you will get the meaning again. Again. If you add the prefix rewrite, right again, rebirth, born again. Clear now? So here, revive, Vive means life. Re means again. Life again. Life again. Revive. Came into life again. That's the meaning. Revive. Came into life again. Here, here, when Douglas came to the pool and saw the water, his old memories of 3 years became active again. It came into the memory now. After 3 years old, when he was 3 years old, he had that fearful experience on the beach of California. After 1 year or 2 years, he forgot about it. He forgot. He never went to any pool. He never went to any beach again. So he did not remember. But in him, when he was 10 years or 11 years, he had a great desire to conquer the fear of 3 years. With that purpose, he came to YMCA pool to learn swimming. He wore the swimming pads and all these things, and he came to the water, seeing the deep water. See the name of the pool? Deep water. His old memories became alive. His old memories revived in his mind. In other words, he remembered, revived the unpleasant memories, and it stirred, shook. Stirred means shook. We stir sugar in the tea, shake. It shook his childish fears. This one. But in a little while, I gathered confidence. He was not ready to leave it. He came here to conquer it. So within seconds, within minutes, he amassed, he collected all his energy and confidence. He became confident. I paddled with my new water wings. I paddled with my new water wings. He began to row. He began to move his hands to swim using the paddles. Paddled. Paddled means to row. I paddled with my new water wings, watching the other boys. I was looking at the other boys. If you want to learn, wait, watch, listen. Hmm? Who said? Mr. Lamb. Wait, watch, listen. He waited at the side of the pool. He revived, the memories revived in his mind, but he amassed, he waited there. He amassed energy, amassed confidence. He began to conquer it. He began to conquer it, for which he was watching how do the other children do. watching the other boys and trying to learn by aping them. He began to ape them, imitate, aping, imitate, imitate. He imitated them. I did this 2 or 3 times on different days and was just beginning to feel at ease in the water. Underline. He began to feel at ease in the water. He began to experience the water without fear. And beginning to feel at ease in the water when the misadventure happened. So something again happened. So the first incident at 3 years, second incident he began to learn at the age of 11 at YMCA. There, when he began to conquer, he began to conquer the fear and he was feeling at ease, relaxed in the water. Another incident happened, third one in YMCA. The third incident happened. Underline, the misadventure happened. Misadventure, an accidental mishap, a casual accident, an unexpected accident, misadventure, an unexpected accident. I went to the pool when no one else was there. He went to the pool when nobody was there. The place was quiet. The place was silent. The water was still. There was no movement because nobody was in the water. And the tiled bottom was as white, as clean as bathtub. So clean. The bottom tiles were so clean. He could see the sunlight, the bottom of the swimming pool. It was as white as a bathtub. Comparison, simile, as white as. I was timid about going in alone. You see, the previous paragraph, it is written, he felt ease at the water. After 2, 3 days experience, he was very free to enter the water. Now he was alone. Alone. Water was still. Nobody was there. At this time, he felt little lack of courage. He felt little afraid, a little afraid to enter the water. I was timid. I was fearful. I did not have courage about going in the water alone, to get into the water alone. So I sat on the side of the pool. So I was sitting on the walls of the pool to wait for others. I had not been there long. I had not been there long when in came, when in came, where came in, when came in, somebody came in, a big bruiser. When a big bruiser came in, bruiser, a villain, a muscle man, a strong boy, physically strong boy. In came a bruiser of a boy, probably 18 years old. What was his age? 11. The bruiser, 18 years old. He had thick hair on his chest that shows his age. He was a youth. He was a beautiful physical specimen. He was handsome in his body. His body has a beauty. That is why the beautiful word is used for the boy. His physical pattern by gymnasium or other physical exercises, he modeled his body, and it was very beautiful. He was a beautiful physical specimen with the legs and arms, well developed muscles that showed rippling muscles. His strong muscles are there. It falls down there. We can see the muscles separately. He yelled. He shouted, "Hi, skinny! Hi, skeleton! Hi, skinny! Hi, slim boy! How do you like to be ducked? How will you be like to be ducked? To be in the water? If I throw into the water, how will you feel? What will you feel?" With that, saying this, with that, saying this, he picked me up. He took me up and throw me into the deep end. He was sitting on the shallow end. The bruiser took him and tossed him, threw him to the deep end. He threw him here, here. And I landed in a sitting position. I landed in a sitting position. He threw me here. There, I was in a sitting position and I was going down in a sitting position. Swallowed water. He reached here. In the meantime, he drank water and went at once to the bottom. When he threw him, all on a sudden, with the force of the throw, he reached the bottom in a sitting position. I was frightened. Underline. I was frightened. Underline. Landed in a sitting position. So at the age of 11, when he came to conquer his fear, the bruiser threw him into the water again. he was afraid of water. Once he was afraid of the water at the age of 3. Now, at the age of 11, again, he was afraid of water. But not yet frightened out of my wits, underline. But I was afraid, but I was conscious. Not out of my wits. That's the word. Not out of my wits, conscious. Out of wits. That's what is the meaning? Not aware. Not aware of. Not out of wits. Not out of, conscious of, aware of. So though he was afraid and though he went down at a stretch in a sitting position, he was conscious. He was aware of the situation. On the way down, I planned. So you see, he is coming down here. From here, he is going down. From here. On the way, at a stretch, he reached here in a sitting position. On this way, he planned. 1 second, he planned. What is his plan? When my feet hit the bottom, so I am falling down. When I reach the ground, when my feet touch the ground, I would make a jump. So this was his plan. I am I am in the water. As soon as I reach the bottom, what I will do? I will push my feet on the floor and I will come up. That was his planning. Underline, I would make a big jump. Come to the surface. Come to the surface. So I would make a big jump, number one. First step. Then what will happen? You will come to the reach the surface. Then what I will do? Lie flat on it. I will lie flat on it. Number two. And paddle to the edge of the pool. From here, I will swim to the shallow end of the pool. The last 3-4 lines you can put curly bracket right there. The planning of Douglas in YMCA. The planning of Douglas in YMCA. And underline the word planned. You see, he was thrown into the deep water. While drowning in the water, he was planning, what should I do? And he made the plan. As soon as I reach the bottom of the pool, I will kick my feet on the floor. Then I will reach on the top. When I reach on the top, I will lie flat. Then I will swim, paddle towards the shallow end. Thus, I will save myself. This was his planning. It seemed a long way down. It is of 9 feet, but he experienced a long way. He thought it is of 90 feet. 90 feet, because he was afraid. He was afraid. So he experienced it was a long journey. Those 9 feet were more like 90 feet. And before I touched the bottom, my lungs were ready to burst. Before reaching the bottom, he drank water and his lungs were filled with water. His lungs were filled with water. Instead of air, it was filled with water. But when my feet hit bottom, I summoned. Summoned here means gathered. Someone call is the meaning. But here meaning, I called all my power. I gathered. I collected. I collected all my strength and made what I thought was a great spring upwards, spring, a jump upwards. Though my lungs were full of water, as soon as I reached the bottom, I sprang upward. I imagined I would bob to the surface like a cork. See, everything you see in this critical moment, what all things he thinks while drowning. If you were Douglas, will you think like that? What you will do? You will call Amma Appa and drink more water and you will die there. Hmm? But here, Douglas tells us that he amassed, he collected, he gathered all the energy and tried to save from the difficult situation. So, and he also thought, if I kick on the floor, how will I go to the top? I will reach the top like a cork, like a cork. You see, suppose if you open a champagne bottle, if the cork is removed, how the champagne will go up like a fountain. Why are you going for champagne? You get a Coca-Cola or Pepsi or cool drinks bottle. You shake it, then open the bottle. It will go like up. So he thought he would go, he would spring, he would reach the top like a cork suddenly. Instead, I went up slowly, 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 slowly. He moved towards slowly, slowly, slowly. I opened my eyes. You see, this experience, question may come. What was the experience inside the water in YMCA? Narrate the experience. You can put that paragraph, last two paragraph, curly bracket, right? Narrate the experience of Douglas in the water, in the YMCA pool, not in the water, in YMCA pool. So he was coming up very, 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 very slowly. Slowly. In the meantime, he opened his eyes. In the meantime, he opened his eyes and saw nothing because he was inside the water. He opened, he could not see anything but only water. He could see only water. Water that had a dirty yellow tinge to it. Yellow tinge, yellow color. So when he opened his eyes, he could see dirty yellow color of the water. I became panicky. I grew panicky. I became panicky. I was totally upset. I was afraid. I reached up as if to grab a rope. I reached up as if to grab, to pull, to catch a rope, and my hands clutched only at water. So when he reached up, he wanted to pull one rope, but instead of rope, he was holding water. So he is again going down. I was suffocating. I was troubled. I was troubled. I tried to yell. I tried to shout, but no sound came out. I tried to look at the surroundings, but I could see the dirty yellow tinge, yellow color of water. I tried to yell. I tried to cry. I tried to shout, but my sound didn't come out. Then my eyes and nose came out of water. With this struggle, he came on the top of the water. My eyes and nose came out of the water, but not my mouth. So the water level was just below the nostrils. I flailed at the surface of the water. I floated. I swam. I swing. I floated at the surface of the water, swallowed and choked. He was afraid. He could not speak anything. I tried to bring my legs up. Head is out. Now he tried to bring his legs up, but they hung as dead weights. You know, in water, the legs will be tilted. It will not be able to use power. It was hanging there, paralyzed and rigid. Underline, legs up, hung as dead weights, hung as dead weights without any weight and power, paralyzed, rigid, very stiff. A great force was pulling me under. I screamed. Some force was pulling me down. I screamed, but only the water heard me. I had started on the long journey back to the bottom of the pool. See, with a great struggle, he came up. His head, his eyes, his nose came out of the water. So he tried to pull, catch a rope, but instead he was holding water. He tried to lift his leg up. He was swinging in the water. He was tilted in the water. He could not move his leg. Ultimately, he was again going down to the water. So the bruiser threw him into the water. At a stretch, he went down. From there, he jumped up. He reached the top. Nobody was there to help him. Again, he was going down to the earth, down to the bottom of the water. In the next class, we will see his the further next experience. Okay. Okay. So I end the class here now. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay.